Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me here, Rajiv. I couldn't agree more with Minral Pandey when she made this comment that this is a deep and probing analysis of Indian democracy. That's true. I had done a book, Talking Films, with a London-based journalist, Nasreen Moni Kabir, and it was a long conversation of almost 200 pages. But her very first question was, what is a good conversation? And I said, there are 3 levels of conversation. One, about people. Second, about incidents. And third, about ideas. That is the superior conversation. I think this book qualifies for that superior conversation. This is a book of ideas. He has not trapped himself into personalities or particular incidents. Yes, of course, there are some references, but that is not the main thrust. His thrust is about ideas, which are universal. And I must, in all honesty, confess that I have not read it from cover to cover, but I have read it a lot on different topics, and I stood educated at many points, and I was very happily confirmed about things that I think, and Rajiv wrote those things perhaps in a better language, so I was very happy. But after having said this and congratulating Rajiv for writing this, which was necessary, now I'll show my dissent. That is chapter 4. My disagreement starts from the very title. Are religious and secular ideas. What is this religious and secular ideas? You see, you give 2 entities, either they are on one side or they are totally opposite. Then you mention both of them. Is religiosity and secularism on one side? I'm afraid not. They are not. Although religions, I won't mind if you blame religions for weather change, but the fact is that religions have certain prejudices, but they remain benign as long as they are only religious. They become malignant when they are taken out and used for some other vested interest. That's a fact. I believe even the crusade or the so-called jihad in 13th century or 14th century was also not religious. There were other motives. There were imperialism behind it. They're conquering the territory, plunder, and so on. But that's not the topic at the moment, so let's come back. So, if they are not totally opposite, if they are not on one side, what could be the title? Religion and traditional values, or secularism and liberal values, or religion and atheism. That is the opposite, not secularism. Or secularism and communalism. You have to differentiate. I have no love lost. I'm an atheist. I have no love lost for religions. But I believe there is a difference between religion and communalism. One is meanness, another is stupidity. You can't put them together. So, in last 100 years, Indian subcontinent has taken the biggest hit on the secularism of this country with the partition of India, as he mentioned. That's right. Now this is, we believe that this was a religious conflict. Was it so? Ironically, most of the religious education institutions of India were against the partition. Not only institutions, but a far right-wing bigoted party like Jamaat-e-Islami was against the partition. And who were for it? The industrialists, some in Khoja, Bori industrialists, some Nawabs, some rich lawyers, led by a gentleman, westernized gentleman, who was known for his whiskey and pork. So that much religion and that much it was a fight of two religions and two civilizations. But you need religion because if there is any system which is ugly, any demand which is unreasonable, any administration, any structure, social structure which is exploitative, too demanding, too unjust, you have to give it a cover because it's ugly. And in every situation, religion becomes the cover. Even this pork eating and whiskey drinking leader had a slogan, Pakistan ka matlab kya? La ilaha illallah. Perhaps that's all he knew about Islam. So, that is how it is. But we say, these are religious communities. Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs and Christians. Yes, they are, of course. And they are based on religion. Yes, also true. So is Parsi Gymkhana in Bombay, Christian Gymkhana, Islam Gymkhana, Hindu Gymkhana. They were made for different communities who were the followers of different religions. But if we look into their activities, these activities have hardly anything to do with religion. There are big tournaments, there are table tennis matches, they have cricket teams. So what it has to do with Parsi religion or Islam or Hinduism? Nothing. The same way, these communities, maybe they are identified with that religion, but their politics, their demands, their expectations, sometimes their fair demands, sometimes their unfair demands, are not rooted in religion. They pretend that. Now the moment we put religiosity and secularism, we are making a mistake. We are giving dignity to communalism. We are accepting the mask as the face. It's a mask, it's not the face. And why people use this? People with very selfish motives, people with very narrow ideas which are not liberal, which are not... What is liberal? Liberal means that everybody should participate in it, everybody should have a say. But they want to hold power. They want to become all-powerful and controlling. Now, how do they do that? It's an ugly desire. They have to use religion's cover. And they know, not only a cover, they know that the harpoon of religion is deeply stuck in the hearts of people. It's a harpoon. And you can pull the rope and people will come. That is how they bring them in for their agenda, which is not religious at all. Not religious. I mean, if a society, all over the world it is happening. You see, what happens that when a minority, and the so-called leaders of minority, want some unfair, indecent rights, like instant divorce. It's a machismo. It is a society where, I mean, you are not willing to give equal respect to women. How do you cover that? You cover it with religion. This demand, believe me, it cannot happen in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, most of the Muslim countries don't have this rule. Why are you asking? It's religion. So it means all those people who have banned this are out of religion. If it is religion, they have left Islam. No, it's a cover for power, the man's power. We confuse it with religion. And we give it dignity by that. Whatever is happening today is not religion. It is hunger for unquestioned power. And the moment we clump secularism and religiosity, we fall in that trap. So I think in the second edition, I'm sure very soon you will have the second edition. Rajiv Saab, you must give a thought to this title. Thank you.